Hello, 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 everyone. Hello, YouTubers. It's Anonymous T. Hope you're having an amazing day today. So, first and foremost, I want to say thank you guys so much for the 10,000 subscribers. I am grateful and appreciative of each and every single one of you. I took a little bit of time off, you guys. I had a lot going on. I've been busy with all kinds of things that kind of just wiped me out, but I'm back at it, and I just want to thank you so much for all of your well wishes, your messages, your comments, and everything else. I'm very grateful, and I just wanted to say once more, thank you so much. I truly appreciate it. So today I wanted to discuss Big Brother, and we are in season 24, one season after the cookout made history of having the first U.S. Black winner of the show, and there is all kinds of tomfoolery that is going on, you guys. I am so saddened because Big Brother was one of my favorite shows, and I really wanted to review it this season, but everything from the beginning has just been a disaster. The botched leak of some of the cast, the botched rollout of this season of, presenting the cast like the day before the premiere, only to find out that one of the cast members had to be disqualified and had to be dropped and replaced with an alternate because they were already on other reality shows. They were already on America's Got Talent. They were already filmed The Circle, and then they were trying to basically have their cake and eat it too and just secure multiple bags, except for those shows are on other networks, which is going to be a direct violation of their contract and their non-compete. And how Big Brother missed that, how CBS missed that, how Paramount missed that is beyond me. But the issue at hand now is we are barely a week into the new season, you guys, and already we have issues. And it starts and finishes with racism. And we just got to keep it a buck. It starts and finishes with racism. Even some of the mixed people of color are, completely embarrassing themselves. This seems like a blatant attack to undo everything that the cookout accomplished in season 23, and I'm just so disgusted. So let's get into this article, and I'm going to break it down because I had been watching the feeds over the past, few days and everything else since the premiere of Wednesday, and it's all been a hot mess, you guys. So TMZ is reporting, and they are quoting the 2Fab article, but I want to say other publications have been picking this up all weekend, you guys. Us Weekly, Pop Crave that has nearly 1 million followers, TMZ has 6 million followers. So lots of pages that have a huge following are picking up this story, and I feel like CBS, if they do not intervene, this is going to end before it even gets started. So let's get into it. It says Big Brother blowout. Cookout members worry show is back to basic racist way, not back to basics, back to racist ways. But technically, that's true. That's fact. So again, the cookout members from season 23, they are worried the show's back to racism, back to the racist, ways of getting out the black people first. And, these first set of nominations. And so it says Xavier, Tiffany, Azza, and Hannah from season 23. And more recently, Kylan has also posted, have been watching the live feeds, and they are not happy with what they see, with some of it spilling into Sunday night's show. There may have not been a massive power alliance set to dominate the season, as we've seen over and over again in recent years of Big Brother. But that does not mean there hasn't been plenty of game talk and alliances forming. We're less than a week into this season of Big Brother, and already there are red flags rising for members of last season's dominant cookout alliance, with both winner Xavier and Tiffany Mitchell sounding off on social media while watching the live feeds. We will get into some of that a little bit later with some excessive spoiler warnings in case it spills into something that has not been seen yet on the show. As for the show, this is the second episode that started to reveal, what we're talking about. Without a competition to deal with, and after a season premiere so packed with them, we didn't get to know anyone. The second episode slowed down and really spent some time with the contestants. As such, some personalities began to emerge, for the good and for the bad. Micro alliances. The closest thing to a cookout happening was when 6 of the 8 girls decided they should all work together and solidify a thing, but it wasn't really an alliance moment, and we'll believe it when we see it. What did happen, though, was in the slow emergence of few micro alliances or final 2 arrangements. Of course, the new head of household found himself in one. When you're in power, you're everyone's friend. In the case of Daniel and Nicole, though that bond happened over their hair before they said a word to each other, the duo just kind of saw one each each other across the backyard on day one and felt a kinship that was solidified in the HOH room in the season's first final two, as far as we saw on TV. The second one was also based on personality, with Alyssa and Paloma bonding over being Scorpios and quirks like falling asleep with their makeup on. They're just vibing on the same frequency, well, almost the same frequency. Early in the game, we saw people who just randomly decide that they don't like another person, and that appears to be what happened with Paloma. She started making assumptions about Taylor, and that quickly grew into what seems to be an unbridled game hatred. It all started when Taylor was playing pool with the guys, being a little flirty and playful. Taylor explained in the diary room that she was trying to connect with them for fear that they become forming an all-guys alliance, so she'd wanted to learn to speak their language and infiltrate. Paloma saw it as nothing more than a shallow flirting as a strategy. She also took issue with what she saw as Taylor bonding with the men and making no effort to do so with the women. Later, when the girls were alone in a room without Nicole and Taylor, Paloma proceeded again to trash Taylor's pageant past as if that defines her and determines that she's a shallow, empty, awful person. The stereotyping is cruel and aggressive. When she takes her chance to chat with Daniel, she only has one target for him, Taylor. At this point, she's almost blinded by her pointless hatred of someone who never did anything to her, and she's spreading that hatred around. But will it stick? Kudos to the Big Brother producers for pulling out that soundbite of Michael saying that in the diary room, his intention was to lay low and not talk game right away before immediately showing him aggressively talking game. Not just was he talking game, but he also started talking way too much, blurting out everything. He revealed that he was a super fan of the game, which Daniel had already figured out in the most fascinating way. As a super fan himself, Daniel knows that the first person to enter Big Brother house each season has never won. He then noted that rather than for him to be first, Michael held the door for everybody. For him, that was a clue. While the possibility of working with another superfan is intriguing, Daniel had ultimately decided it was better if he was the only one. Maybe he saw Todrick Hall, a problematic runner-up, if there was ever one, mow down the clueless competition as the only superfan in the last season of Celebrity Big Brother. Oh, if only Daniel knew just how many more superfans there are this season. First nominations are always a crapshoot. This early juncture in the game, Daniel selected an actual target and a pawn. He didn't listen to Paloma's random hatred of Taylor, which was nice, but he did put up Terrence as a pawn. Now Terrence was hardly talked to anyone. As the oldest player in the house, he doesn't feel like he fits in, but he's also black, which is to be looked at when you consider an unconscious bias. Yes, Terrence didn't do his part to integrate himself into the game, but can we rule out black as a factor with him being selected as a pawn? Ultimately, it could be argued that Daniel doesn't think anyone would send him out, but that would make a safer choice than someone that everybody in the house seems to like. Not that there are many breakout darlings yet. His target this week was Michael, who blabs simply way too much. We never want to be in an alliance with a guy who can't even keep his own secrets for a week in the house. We'd never want to give him any of ours. And so Nicole was smart in aligning with the current HOH and actually had an interesting and potentially powerful pairing because they secured their final two. And, you know, they kind of go through all of the people and what they said in the HOH room of all 16 contestants. But basically some of the disturbing chatter has just been, you know, this blatant racism against Taylor, the colorism, just everything that is jumping out, you guys. And I'm just disgusted. They are isolating Taylor. Now it's to the point whenever she enters a room with them, they like get up and leave. And it's been Monty and Paloma that has really led the charge against her. And I think Monty's issue is he basically had a problem with production trying to push a showmance between him and Taylor. And I think they were trying to have like a Swaley type of redux, except for they didn't properly vet these contestants to know that Monty does not like black women. Like, let's just keep it a buck, you guys. He does not like black women. It's embarrassing that he went to an HBCU. He is a member of Alpha Phi Alpha fraternity, which is one of the Divine Nine. And Taylor is an AKA. And this is just disgusting. This is just disgusting behavior. And he feels that he's the spokesperson for black people, even though he has not acknowledged his blackness until recently. He kept calling himself, you know, Puerto Rican or whatever. He would never call himself black. So it's just a lot, you guys. It's just a lot. And I'm just disgusted. I am absolutely disgusted this season. I've already stopped watching. I look at clips online now, but it's not the same, you guys. It's back to the basics. It's back to the same old, same old. And I think production has a hand in this. I think they intentionally wanted to destroy everything the Cookout resembled because they felt that, quote, the Cookout was taking their show. And they're used to having their white winners, their problematic white winners, and they don't want any interference of that. So now with the diversity increase, what they're doing is they're saying, hey, we're going to add more Asians and, mixed people and black people on this show, but we're going to make it as though we're going to specifically cast the black people and the mixed people who hate themselves, who absolutely hate themselves and are going to suck up to white people for acceptance and are going to throw their own under the bus so that we will never see a Cookout type of alliance ever again. And that's what we have, you guys. That is what we have. And the only decent people who've been semi-nice to Taylor have been Brittany, Michael, and Joe. But even Nicole, who reminds me of Casey 2.0, has even turned on her. And they've seemed to got into this bully mentality, this groupthink mentality that if everybody says something and the majority of it agrees, then that means it must be true. And that even though they suspect that some of what they are lying on Taylor about to use as an excuse to try to nominate her and have two black people potentially sitting on the block is, completely disturbing. They're suspecting that there's something off, that there's something missing, but they don't want to investigate. And nobody wants to fact check with Taylor that whatever Monty and Paloma are spreading about her is true. And it's just disgusting. And we still don't know ultimately what this backstage pass, twist is. But a lot of people pretty much said that if Taylor ends up, being a replacement nom this week, that they're done. That they're done Thursday and that this isn't a good look. But I'm so tired, you guys. I'm so tired. And this is why I had said, even on other, times I've talked about Big Brother, that we need a separate show. We need a separate show that is strictly for black contestants, you guys. Like, let's just keep it a buck of what it is. It needs to be the same case for The Bachelor. It needs to be the same case for Love Island. We need a separate show that's just for black people that is based in the US, you guys. Because this is going to continue to happen. They are specifically casting certain people that they know do not like black people, and then they only cast one person who, is authentic, is black, and is confident in themselves, and that person is seen as a threat. People are blaming Taylor, saying that she's a pageant girl and everything else is an excuse, but it wouldn't have mattered if she said that she was a model, if she was a teacher, if she was a doctor, if she was a nurse or what have you. They still would have had a problem with her because she's confident, she's beautiful, she's not problematic, and they want to be the it girl in the house. Because there is just some disgusting and disturbing things that are being said about Taylor to the point now that they're just even cutting the feeds, that they're just switching cameras now whenever something disgusting is said about her because they can't stop the avalanche. But here's the thing they can. They can set up a house meeting at this point. They can do more racial bias training. They can speak in the diary room to these contestants about how they are being perceived on the outside and everything else. They can do all of that if they wanted to, but they are choosing to just completely go down with the ship. And they think that if Taylor becomes a replacement nom and if she goes out first, that that's going to be the best case scenario. But as we've seen in seasons past, it doesn't matter when you get eliminated from the show. If you're the house pariah, if the house hates you for no other reason than your existence, then they're going to continue to trash you. So it doesn't matter whether or not Taylor is still in the house. They're still going to make Taylor their object, their obsession, their reasoning for, completely saying all these nasty things. But I want to say to Taylor, we love you, we support you, and you have a whole bunch of people coming out who are huge fans of you. And it's always the nice people. It is always the nice and kind people that get treated like this, that get isolated like this. Every reality show it happens. So it's just very unfortunate. But those are the thoughts that I have. Please let me know what you guys think in the comments. What do you guys think of Taylor being isolated and, having disgusting lies and things made up about her and people just literally leaving the room when she enters? Like, she went viral because literally she was just crying alone because I think she overheard something to where they basically were bashing her. And it's to the point now she doesn't even have to hide to cry because she knows nobody's going to check on her. And has already made comments that basically, she feels alone in this house. And so it's just unfortunate, you guys. And the cast has no idea the amount of backlash they're about to come out to when they get out of that house. So there's that. But let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments. Please do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you're notified the moment I post some content on my channel. And with that being said, I'll talk to you guys again very soon.